Hello, Gen Con 2019. I was going to launch right into it, but everybody wanted to cheer some more. I am Jason Bullman. I am the Director of Game Design at Paizo, and I'm going to be your GM for this particular little fun session. Today we are here at Gen Con to celebrate the launch of Pathfinder Second Edition. The books are out right now. You can go get them. And to showcase that, we've put together a fun little 2-hour adventure with a bunch of irrepressible rogues. We'll get into that in just a second. But before we do, I'm going to throw it around the table to allow everybody to introduce themselves so you know who our players are. Let's start over here.
Hey everybody, I am Jamie Mills. I am from Dragons and Things on Twitch. You can find us at Dragon Show, and you can find me at Just Jamie Mills.
Hi guys, I'm Diana Restrepo. I'm also from Dragons and Things. I play a rogue named Alex, and today I'm playing a rogue and a fighter named Indra.
Hello everyone, I'm Lauren Sig from No Direction. I'm one of the personalities there. Come check us out on the No Direction website.
And I'm Jefferson J. Thacker, also known as Param from No Direction. You can find us at nodirectionpodcast.com.
Woo! All right, so as our story opens, the tiny village of General's Rest has never had more than a few hundred residents, but it's still a shame to learn of the village's sad fate. During the Shining Crusade, 1,000 years ago, the village was little more than an abandoned farmhouse and barn. When the troops marched past, they camped around it one night, and General Arnesant, the leader of the army, was said to have slept in the farmhouse before moving on. It is said that it is the last proper bed he slept in before the final fight with the Whispering Tyrant. After the war, the folk from the area began to call the place General's Rest in honor of that visit. Alas, there are now none left who will carry on that tale. When the Whispering Tyrant broke free from Gallows Spire just a few months ago, the necromantic energy that surged through the land brought back countless waves of undead. These horrid dead things had slumbered for the past millennium, but with their lord's return, they surged forth, hungry for the souls of the living. The village of General's Rest never saw them coming. The horde of the dead fell upon the village with only a few hours before dawn. But by the time the sun's first rays reached the spire of the church steeple, every man, woman, and child in the town was dead. Now, all that remains are empty buildings, bloodstains, and the faint echoing screams of the people who once called General's Rest home. That's where you come in. You're gonna rob it.
Yes!
The Guildmaster here in Caliphase wants you to travel to General's Rest. All the village's wealth is just lying there for the taking. You will have one night to plunder the town and make your way back to Ustalav before the remaining forces of Lastwall show up and burn the place to the ground. Here is how it's going to work. You'll be snuck across the border using magic. The Guildmaster has assured you that your entrance into the town shall go unnoticed. Unfortunately, they are unable to use such magics to get you back across, so you're going to have to assume the guise of a refugee, making your way back across the border. Obviously, they can't have refugees loading down with treasure. They'll assume you're tomb robbers and put you to the sword right then and there. But the Guildmaster has a plan. Each of you is being given a special bag of holding, one that has been ensorcelled to look like nothing more than a leather pouch unless the command word is spoken. It won't even register as magic. In that bag, you will be able to store a wealth of treasure from the town. In fact, each one of you will be able to hold exactly 25 bulk worth of treasure in your bag. So, the Guildmaster says, make it count. Don't bring back a bunch of junk. I want only the good stuff. You are working together as a team, but the Guildmaster has promised a promotion to whoever brings back the most. Consider it a bit of an incentive to rob the dead as hard as you can. The Guildmaster says that there are concerns that the village may not be entirely abandoned. there may unfortunately be other things still lurking there. And the larger buildings might be dangerous. You should probably consider going into those as a group. And speaking of which, all the four of you have been sitting around this table cloaked in shadows, but at that, the light slowly raises in this back alley guild hall in Caliphase, and you suddenly are able to see each other. The group that has been put together to rob the dead town of General's Rest. So at this point in time, I'm going to go back around the table and let you introduce yourself, your character, and why don't you tell us kind of what you look like. And I'm going to start over here.
Okay. Well, again, I'm Jefferson J. Thacker, also known as Parent, and I am going to be playing Deacon the Fantabulous, and I am a tall, muscular, gleaming elf of a man in a very shiny business suit.
You're in a business suit. The guildmaster's like, we told you were, I guess it'll have to do.
I'm Lauren. My name is Swindle Cricks. I tell you, life as a goblin isn't hard, but I learned to get what I need from them long shanks. When the guildmaster said all this loot was fresh for the taking, I said, send me to General's Rest. Oh, Captain, my Captain.
All right, so we have a goblin and an elf. What do we have over here?
My name is Indra, and I'm half-orc. And I come from the slums working. I can't smile because I have a scar that's stuck here. I try to smile, but it looks awkward. And I have a blue mohawk of a hair. And from those that I kill, I steal a piece of them. It could be a toenail, and it could be also an eyeball or a piece of hair.
Do you just have like a bag of bits, like around your waist?
I do. From my victims.
That's
my
great.
Bag of
Yeah,
bits.
no, that's lovely. Just like every refugee. Over here.
Again, I'm Jamie, and hi, I am Mortala Birchstone. I know you've heard of my family, don't believe it. We guarded tombs. I picked up on a few things from them, and decided to steal the tomb we guarded. But, it's family business.
You're not sure, but the guildmaster suddenly has a look of regret as he looks around the table and realizes that he has probably sent the four least conspicuous people on this mission, or is about to. The guildmaster says, now, we fortunately, and the guildmaster, by the way, you've never even seen the face of the guildmaster. He wears a hood, has a cloak. You have no idea who you're dealing with. But the guildmaster says, now, fortunately, we have spoken with a merchant who has stopped by General's Rest many times in the past year, so I can tell you a little bit about the buildings that you might find interesting. Now, there's a church to Iomade. It's a very large building, probably one of the more dangerous ones in town. But it might be filled with religious valuables, so I suggest you investigate it. There's the town hall. It has the mayor's office. I can't imagine that there's too much of value there, but might be worth investigating. There's another large building in town. There's only one other building that there's two other buildings that are quite large. There's the watch station where the town watch was. We expect that there was a lot of bloody fighting that happened there on the night of the slaughter. I would be careful if you investigate that. And then there's the old farmhouse, the place that supposedly General Arnesant stayed. The townsfolk have turned it into a sort of museum. There might be old valuables there. There are some smaller places you might want to investigate as well. There's the old hay barn, which is next to the old farm, but that has been converted to an inn. There were travelers probably staying there that night. Well, they won't be traveling any further, and I doubt they have any need for all the things they've left behind, so perhaps you could purloin some of them for me. There's the shrine to Abadar. It is small, but do not overlook this place. Abadar is known to be the keeper of vaults and valuables. Such a shrine undoubtedly also served as a sort of bank. And well, I think I've sent 4 of the right people to investigate a bank. There's Garen's Forge, a small town smith. Might be worth a look. And lastly, there's the Watchtower, an old, crooked tower that belonged to the town's eccentric old wizard. Of course, there are also the homes of all the people. If you feel like robbing those, knock yourself out. If you find something interesting, that is, of course, up to you. You will have but one night. We shall get you there shortly after dusk, and from there you must rob and pillage to your heart's content until dawn. By dawn, you should be making your way back to the border. We shall be expecting you on the other side. Do you have any questions?
I'm ready.
I see that you are. Yes?
Interesting
All set?
to see you picked a couple of long shakes to try and do a goblin's job. We'll see what you're capable of.
Yes, well, we couldn't really send 4 goblins. Everyone would assume that you were just there to raid the place.
Not if they can't see us.
That's fair. All right. Well, off then. I have one of our sorcerers is prepared to cast a number of enchantments on you to get you across the border safely. But once you're there, you're on your own. The next few hours pass by in a blur. You're taken to the border. You weren't far away from it to begin with, but you're taken to the border. And there you are spirited across and given a couple of horses to travel to the town of General's Rest. It is actually quite a ways. You actually do have to travel for several hours on horseback to get to the town of General's Rest. As you make your way into Lastwall, you see the devastation that was laid there. Rumors have it that just a few months ago, the Whispering Tyrant broke free from his prison and laid waste to the entire country of Lastwall. The capital was destroyed. Many of the villages disappeared overnight. The army has been scattered to the wind, and this entire place is in chaos. The dead roam these lands. The tyrant's vengeance for 1,000 years of prison has been complete and thorough. Just after nightfall, your map says that you are approaching the town of General's Rest. It's really more of a village as you approach. You see that it is perhaps nothing more than about 100 buildings tops, and maybe that is even an exaggeration, maybe closer to 50. The small village sits on the horizon like a gravestone. And as you approach, you know that there is no one left alive inside. Hopefully, there isn't anything stirring inside, but that is yet to be found out. So as you approach, why don't you tell me what you're doing? You're not very far away now. If there's anything you'd like to do before you enter the town, that is, of course, up to you.
Well, I think it is very important that I immediately commune with the stars to determine our fortunes going forward. And I see that our fortune is bright, and for the mere price of 4 silver 99 copper per minute, I can consult on your individual futures for the success of this mission.
What makes you think I'm going to give you some of my money?
Because we need good fortune for this, so that we do not end up being one of the residents of this town forevermore.
Therefore, reach into your own bag and grab your own money.
I think I'm reaching into my bag and grabbing money.
So you attempt to, correct me if I'm wrong, you're trying to sell them indulgences, or what's going on there?
To predict their fortune
Oh,
and
all right,
future.
fair. Yeah, all right, fair.
No need to worry about me, honey. The Grey Master's got my back.
Let me give you a prediction. Gold as far as the eye can see. You just stick with me. We'll go find.
Did you say the Grey Master?
Grey Master.
Ah, yes, the deity of assassins. All right. So the 4 of you. What have I done? All right. So the 4 of you make your way into the town, and as you approach, you can see the slaughter and devastation that has taken place there. There are bodies lying in the street. There are and it's not just people either. They killed the horses. They killed the dogs. The town is littered with the dead. And as you approach, you can scant hear anything other than the distant creaking of an open door and the kind of low wail of the wind as it makes its way through this dead place.
A whistle while you work.
So where would you like to rob first? There are a number of places. You have a rough idea of where everything is in town. And as you make your way up to it, it's pretty obvious that there's like a town square. All of those large buildings I mentioned are right on that. So you see the temple to Iomade, or the church to Iomade. You see the town hall, the watch station. The old farmhouse is a little bit further away, but you can clearly make that out because there's signs that are like, to the museum. And they're that way, but it's like, to the museum, but it's splattered with blood. and there's like a dead farmer in front of it. So it's cheery, is what it is.
Super cheery.
Yeah, no, it's where the magic happens.
Real warm and inviting.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a really fun place.
Hey, Smiles, I got a deal for you.
What?
What say we leave these two to their own devices? We team up. I guarantee you one of us is getting that promotion.
You were just making fun of me earlier because I was tall, so now you want to team up with me?
Get a jab in. Call me short. I'll let you have it free.
Think about it. Give me a few minutes.
Might
No.
I suggest we try one of the smaller places so that if there are indeed little creepy crawly things that are going to come out and try to bite us, we have an idea of what we're dealing with.
Might I suggest the Shrine to Abadar?
I like this idea a lot.
Sounds like there'd be some fun things there.
Shrine of Abazar, why do you want to go to the shrine first?
Because I think there's gonna be money, gems, donations.
Perhaps the devil's going to come down or something on us on a shrine? Come on now.
Well, that's my 2 cents.
I don't know. I wouldn't mind stealing from the goodly folk. Let's hit it.
Fine.
You make your way up to the Shrine of Abadar. It's a little bit further away, but it is behind the town hall. And you make your way around to the building. It's a squat stone structure made with big blocks. The windows are very, very tall and narrow, so that you couldn't like squeeze in between them. The place is a temple, but it looks almost kind of like a fortress, which isn't, to be honest, all that unusual for shrines to Abadar. Making your way up to the front door, you find that it is locked. That may be a good sign. That may be a bad sign. You don't know. So would one of you like to attempt to open it? Doing so requires you to make a thievery check. You all have thieves' tools and things like that on you, so would one of you like to attempt to open the lock?
Would you mind if I attempted it?
Go right ahead, sweetie.
All right, thank you. Just a little quiet, if you please, and put my gigantic elf ear against it. And I roll a 12 on the die, 24 total.
All right, so you break out your thieves' tools, and they're of very high quality, and you start picking away at the lock. And after a few moments, you manage to get a bunch of the tumblers to align. But you're not quite there. Why don't you give me one more check and see if you can finish off the job?
This one's a little bit stubborn.
Well, it is a church to Abadar. They can't afford good locks.
A 31.
A 31, yeah. Without a problem, you just like flick the lock, pop it once, and the door swings open. Inside is the shredded corpse of the priest to Abadar. He is lying face down in a pool of his own blood.
Does he have any jewelry on him?
So here's how this generally is going to work. All of these locations have things that you can find. Some are very obvious. I'll tell you what those are here in just a moment. Others you have to search for. And when you search, you get to roll a d20. And depending on what you roll, I'll tell you what you find. Each one of you will get to roll to search a location, and I'll tell you what it is. I may tell you what the bulk is and what its value is if it's obvious. If it's not obvious, I'll just tell you what the bulk is, and you can decide whether or not you want to keep it. And we'll figure out how much it's worth at the end. Yeah, that's right. This is just like supermarket sweep. Who am I denying? All right, so let's start there. So the first thing you notice is that directly across there is a giant golden symbol of Abadar. This is kind of mounted on the wall. It looks kind of heavy, but if one of you wanted to take it, it's probably worth about 100. In front of that, there's a small wooden carving of a statue of Abadar. That's probably bulk 1 as well, but you don't know if that's worth anything. But there is this well-carved little statue of Abadar. There's those two things. If anyone wants any of that, that's fine. Then, in addition to that, you can tell that the shrine, the back wall of it is filled with lock boxes.
Ooh. I head there.
Yeah.
I always was fond of churches that document their donations in triplicate.
Fair. So, you're going to make your way back towards the lock boxes?
I'm gonna go for the gold shrine, the gold symbol of Abaddon.
The gold symbol of Abaddon?
The guy.
I'm thinking I'll try my hand on those lock boxes.
Lock boxes.
I am going to smash open the statue, see if it's hollow.
Okay, you're going to smash open the statue. Okay, so the group immediately begins to pillage this sacred shrine of Abaddon. So you go and you start prying the holy symbol off the wall. You're going through lock boxes. You're smashing the statue. And as this happens, as you begin to pry off the statue, you hear a voice call from above.
Okay.
And it screams, "Betrayers! You dare steal from the holy shrine!" And appearing in a burst of golden light is an angel that apparently is bound to protect this place. And yet, you managed to pick the one place where there isn't undead monsters. There's instead an angel. Can I get everyone to roll me initiative, please? In this case, please roll perception as the angel descends from above to attack.
All right.
All right, so I know what I have, and you know what? I'm sorry, I missed everyone's name. So when I go around, give me your character name and your initiative just to make sure that I have them.
Mortala, 26.
Mortala. All right, what do you have?
Indra, 15.
Swindle, 22.
Swindle has a 22. Very good. All right. And last?
Deacon at a 31.
Deacon has a 31 initiative. That is quite good. All right, Deacon, you get to go first. The angel, at least you think it's an angel. What you see is a perfect being clad in shining silver armor. It has a flaming sword that has appeared in its hand called the Flames of Justice.
Oh.
And it has broad, feathery wings, and it is descending from the ceiling, screaming at you to stop.
Okay. In that case, I will listen to the scary angel, stop, and run very quickly away with all three of my actions.
So you spend all three of your actions dropping your stuff and bolting from the place.
Absolutely.
You had the statue in hand, you gently set it down and run out the front door, leaving your companions to solve this problem. All right, Mortala, you get to go next.
Oh, honey, I am so sorry. I just want to let you know we are taking this from this awful area to somewhere safer where they can take care of it.
Do you have deception?
I do.
All right, now why don't you go ahead and roll me some deception?
Oh my god.
That's a natural one.
All right, you're like, no,
Good job,
we're here to take this to a better place, and it just screams, "Liar!" And like fire comes out of its eyes, and its glowing radiance glows even brighter.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to follow Deacon's first action and run.
So it quickly turns into, nope, all right, bye. And you just bolt out the front door. All right, very good. Next up, Swindle.
I'm just gonna turn around real quick, sheepishly, with my hands behind my back and watch it, acting like I'm cowering while I'm picking the lock behind my back.
So the one thing about these lock boxes is I should note that they're not like bolted into the wall, but they do look like they're secure. So what you can do is you can just take the lock box and try and sneak out with it, and not worry about opening it right now.
Okay. And while I got my hands behind my back, I'll just kind of push it into my bag of holding, and then run off.
Okay, give me, this would be a sleight of hand check, which is going to be thievery.
All right. I'll take it. 26.
A 26. All right. You palm a lockbox. This lockbox has a bulk. Write down lockbox. It has a bulk of 2. It's kind of big and clunky.
Lockbox, bolt 2.
And could you do me a favor and go ahead and bounce me a d20 and tell me what you get?
Yeah, let's see. 18. I'll remember you guys from the top.
Okay. Do me a favor and write the number 6 next down to the lockbox.
Oh no.
What? All right. It's fine. So you go bolting out with a lockbox stuffed in your sack. The angelic being now goes, and it looks to Indra as the only person left.
The only person that didn't want to be in here. Let's
Yeah.
keep that in mind.
Yeah. It's worked out great.
You followed us.
And it's going to throw its flaming sword at you.
Great.
That's always.
Thieves! It screams and throws the blade at you with an armor class of only 20.
No.
It's just gonna miss. It flings the blade at you, and mind you, this is like a giant two-handed flaming sword. And the moment it lands, it vanishes and reappears in its hand, and then it throws it again.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, all right. So that's how it's going to be. All right, and that is going to be a 24.
That is exactly my AC.
Oh no. All right. So the blade strikes you for a grand total of,
Oh, Jesus.
let's see. That is going to be. No, you're fine. This
No,
is
it's
great.
Abadar.
You take 16 points of damage. Are you evil?
What?
Are you evil?
I don't.
Have you picked an alignment? No. Okay,
I have
neutral?
not, but it says lawful neutral.
Oh, then you're fine.
Great.
Yeah. I don't do the extra damage to you then. It's fine. This is fine. All right. So that's what it does. It screams betrayer. It descends from the ceiling, so it's now down at your height, and throws that sword at you twice. But it is now your action.
Great. I just go, idiots, and I run back.
All right. So instead of continuing to rob the shrine to Abadar, you all flee and go running out the front door. The angel, or possibly even Archon, hard to say, chases you all the way to the doorstep, but does not leave the shrine. So the shrine is still there, but looks like it's kind of guarded. So you find yourself back out in the town, and you can hear from out on the street the shouts and like angelic curses, which are things like discordant note and foully made harmony, right? And it's just like, okay, that's really lame. But you're back out on the street, and that did burn up a bunch of your time getting in there and kind of looking at. The way I'm generally going to do this is you arrived at about 9 p.m. You have until about 5 a.m. and every location that you visit and explore, we'll just say to keep things moving, is going to burn about an hour. So even if you didn't do much there, you still had to go in and explore, pick the lock, go inside, decide what you were going to do. Now you've fled back outside, you're getting yourself readjusted. We'll say an hour's gone by, just to keep it moving. So it's now like 10.
Okay. What did I say?
You said you didn't want to team up with me. Wasn't that a mistake?
I believe you said no to my fortune-telling services.
I said no to the shrine, and look what you idiots did. I say for the watch, the town hall next.
Town hall.
Town hall.
What do you say?
We need to make up for some lost time. That was very unprofitable.
If it can cure your grumpiness, I'm in.
I always look grumpy with this smile. Do you see this scar? It doesn't move, you idiot.
It's hard to miss. That's for sure.
You're having this conversation as you're making your way towards the town hall?
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
The imposing structure is stone on the bottom floor and wood framing up above. It has the symbol of the town above the door frame, and that is this outline of this farmhouse. It seems like the town is really known for. It's a tourist destination. You get to the front, and there's a pile of heads that's been made by the undead. They left that for you as a little place marker.
That's
So you know where it is. So you found that. So what would you like to do? The front door has been ripped off its hinges and is lying in the street outside.
Any of these heads have gold teeth?
Would you like to pick through the heads? I'm
Yeah.
gonna call that your hour if you're gonna pick through the heads.
I'll wait and loot the building.
Yeah, all right.
I gotta
Okay.
back up though.
Yeah, no, the backup is go and look for gold teeth and severed heads. It's a cheery bunch.
Seeing as we just met an angel, maybe an archon. I am going to stealth forward and try to get a peek inside before fully committing.
That's fair. All right. So you make your way up to the town hall. What is your stealth bonus? This is a check I'm going to go ahead and do and see.
14.
14. All right, that's a number. Okay. So you sneak up and into the town hall. The building, at first, you kind of take a look around, and it's filled with there's a courtroom, kind of, like a place where they probably pass down judgment and sentences. There's a bunch of offices, where there's paperwork and filing drawers and stuff like that. You think the mayor's office itself is probably upstairs, but when you wander up there, that's when you see it. There is a spectral form wandering around through the upstairs. Now, this form hasn't noticed you yet. And you're not sure that it will if you keep quiet. Maybe you can rob this place without being seen. But if you blow that stealth check, that's not going to be the case. Now, while you're going around and searching, I will tell you this. You see a number of things that are interesting.
Okay.
You see there up on top, there's the town seal that is, it's at the top of the stairs. It looks like it's made of silver. Looks kind of big and bulky, though. There is the mayor's office. You're not sure what's going on in there. And up at the front desk, when you first came in, there's another one of these little wooden statues. This one looks like it's the god Erastil, the god of the hunt. Just kind of like you saw the little Abadar statue. This is very similar. It looks like a little wooden statue. That's what you see from just looking around if you want to actually take time. Everybody else is kind of still outside, so what are you doing?
Okay, so spectral form upstairs, but it doesn't look impossible. I think we split up, maybe. You guys can take, I don't know, the courtroom, see if there's anything in there, and I'll head upstairs.
Sounds reasonable.
Indeed. Are you capable of being quiet?
Why are you looking at me that way? Of course I can be quiet.
The armory doesn't look too heavy and noisy. Not too heavy or noisy. I mean, it's a little heavy and noisy, but it's not terribly heavy and
Then
noisy.
I'll stay down here.
I should note, for all of you watching at home, all four of these characters are made with different archetypes, so they're not all straight rogue characters. They have different abilities and powers as well, and I think we'll get a chance to see some of that here soon when people start failing stealth checks. All right. As the adventure progresses. All right, so...
Great.
Yeah, no, it's going to be fine. So, what's the plan? You're going to go upstairs?
I'm gonna go upstairs.
I'll search around downstairs like the offices.
Downstairs.
I will do as she suggests and check the courtroom.
All right.
I'm gonna wait for the opportune moment to go for that silver crest.
All right, so that's upstairs.
I'll do it.
Okay. All right. So, let's go ahead and do this. Can you give me a stealth check? I'll let you roll this one.
All right.
That way you know that if you do poorly, it's on you. Not
31.
Oh, that's pretty good. All right. So you managed to sneak around upstairs. I have a few folks sneaking around downstairs, and Swindle's going for the town seal. Okay. So we'll start there. You are able to sneak up there. Give me a stealth check.
All right. 23.
23. Let me check something here. It's fine. I'm sure it's fine.
It's okay. After I put my hands on it, I'm not stealthing no more. I'm running.
No, you're fine. You walk up there, and just as you're about to grab it, you see this spectral form pass between two doors in front of you, and you're just about to grab it, and it passes out of sight, and it didn't see you. So you're able to steal that. That is a 2 bulk item, so write down 2 bulk, town seal. It is worth 200 gold pieces. All right, that's pretty obvious. You can, if it's something obvious of value, like something made of precious gems and stuff like that, I'll just tell you what it's worth. So you snag the town seal. Everyone else, needs to roll me a, let's see, you can roll me a d20. Can the two of you just roll me d12s?
Yeah.
Because you're only searching downstairs, not the whole place.
16.
Okay.
I think the Pathfinder logo is a 12.
I think it is, yeah. So you have a 12? And
7.
7. Okay. So you go searching around, and you actually, unfortunately, don't really find much of anything. You do find a coin pouch on a dead body that has 54 gold pieces in it.
Okay.
But that's it.
Okay.
And that is no bulk. That's just a pouch
No
of
bulk?
coins. You had a 12. You find a box filled with correspondence, like between the town hall and other places. This is only one bulk, but you have no idea if it's worth anything or not. You can decide to keep it, or you can decide to leave it.
I think I just found somebody's lost communications from loved ones. I know how to work this angle.
All right. So you find a box of correspondence. So just make sure to note that you got that in the town hall. And you had a 16.
Yes.
You find a painting of General Arnesant
Oh.
up in one of the offices. So there's this painting of this brave general with this shield. It is bulk 3 though, because it's a pretty big painting.
Right.
Yeah.
And you have to kind of cram it in the sack, and you're like trying to get it in there.
Yeah.
It looks like it's pretty valuable though. You think it's probably worth 500 gold pieces.
Alrighty.
So, you've snuck around this place, you've searched. You can stay here and continue searching if you want. You could try going to different places. It's kind of up to you. If you do stay here and search again, you get more rolls the longer you stay in a place. Because you can loot it more thoroughly if you stay longer.
Yeah.
But that's kind of up to you. And you don't have to stay together either if folks want to go to different places.
One good loot deserves another.
Yeah.
Up to you.
I think I'm going to continue to ransack this place. This ghost doesn't seem too threatening to me.
I'm sure it'll be fine. What could possibly go wrong? Okay, so you've decided to stay?
Yeah.
Why
let's say
not?
A couple more.
All right.
Yeah, a little bit.
Are folks now brave enough to sneak around upstairs, or are you still just going to stay downstairs?
I'll stay upstairs.
Upstairs.
I'll go upstairs.
I ain't afraid of no ghost.
I'm not being alone in the room with the ghost. I'm upstairs.
All right, so everyone is now sneaking around upstairs. Why doesn't everybody roll me a stealth check? This is going to be great, I'm sure.
Nat 20. How you like that, Jason?
Across the table, high five.
Oh, come on. One of you had to blow it.
23.
30.
All right. So I guess you can rob some more.
Yes.
All right. Why don't all of you now bounce me 2 d20s and tell me the higher of the two numbers?
20.
20.
Yes. That's my Alex done.
That's on 2?
Sad trombone.
Oh no.
18.
18. All right. So let's start with the sad trombone. You got a 6. The thing you find is that in the mayor's office there is he has like the rod of state, right? You know, it's like a baton that you would have during functions. It's bulk 1 and it's probably worth like 50 gold.
Okay. So I'm just going to write down fancy stick, 50 gold.
Yeah, that's fine. Bulk 1 though. Remember that.
Got it.
Deacon, you had an 18. In one of the drawers, you find a pile of like deeds to town properties.
Okay, I like this.
So that's a box of deeds. It is 1 bulk. Just put box of deeds. You have no idea how much that's worth, though. I mean, you're not a surveyor. You're a rogue.
Box of deeds.
The two of you find a locked safe in the mayor's office.
1.
You both rolled a 20. You both found the same thing. So in the mayor's office, there is a locked safe. Now, here's how this works. The safe is bulk 8.
Holy.
Unless you can open it and then you find out whatever's inside, and that's probably not bulk 8. Bulk 8 means you're taking the whole
entire-
safe. You're
yeah.
taking the
Right.
whole safe and just stuffing it in the bag of holding, trusting that the guildmaster can get it open.
We should open this, right?
Yes, so we can share what's inside.
All right. I'm going to attempt to pick the lock on the safe, or
Okay.
open the safe.
Yeah. Oh, and I should note the guildmaster was like, there will be no sharing. Whatever's in your bag is yours.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Thanks, Jason.
So please be friendly. Now.
Can I check for traps first?
Well, I can roll to see if you find any
Okay.
traps. What's your perception?
My perception for finding traps is 15.
You take a really good look on the outside of the vault, and you don't really find anything.
All
So
right.
it's undoubtedly safe.
Of course. Of course. Yeah. This is great. Let's get it open. Let's take everything.
All right.
Yes.
Go ahead and give me a thievery skill check to attempt to open the lock.
Righty. That would be a 32.
A 32 begins the process. Locks,
Okay.
especially complex ones like this, take multiple successes to get open. All right, so that is one success. You can try again if you would like to continue to attempt to open this lock.
Yeah.
Oh,
At least I'm getting them out of the way now.
Oh.
Because that's a natural 1.
Oh. That's great, because that sets off the alarm.
So
So
glad we found that.
yeah, no, it's going to be fantastic.
Don't you wish you had
Because
6?
the moment the screeching bell starts going off, that's when the thing comes screaming through the wall. The dead ghost of the mayor comes flying through the wall, screaming at all of you. The two of you are in rooms right adjacent to this. But at this point in time, I'm going to need you all to roll perception for initiative again.
there's my one.
All right. Go ahead and roll that. All right. So, Deacon, what do you have?
I have a 23.
Okay. Mortella, what do you have?
36.
Well, that's quite good. That must have been an awfully high roll.
Yeah.
Great considering the skill check you just made. Swindle, what do you have?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. All right. All right. And Indra, what do you have?
13.
13.
I'm the slowest of the group. So my armor.
That is fair. All right. So, Mortella, you are getting to go first.
I am. Can I see what I would know about ghosts?
Do you have religion as a skill?
I do.
All right, then you can make me a religion skill check. This will take one of your 3 actions.
That's a-okay with me. 28.
What you are thinking that you are looking at is a poltergeist. It's not an ordinary ghost, it's a poltergeist. So it's
Okay.
probably able to throw things at you and frighten you and basically make a mess of the area.
Fun.
It's also not fully here. It's kind of, it can pass through walls. It's incorporeal. It can pass through objects,
Okay.
which makes it harder to hurt.
I am going to. Is it in the room with us?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it in the way of the door to the room?
I'm going to say no. The room that you're in the mayor's office. So there's the desk, and the safe is behind the desk, and then around the desk, opposite that is the entrance. It came through one of the side walls, so
Got
you can
it.
go the other way around the desk and you'll be fine.
Yeah, I am going to go around the desk to the doorway at the very least,
Sure.
and cast shield.
All right. So your first action was to make the knowledge check. Second action to move. Third action to cast shield. The shield goes blazing into existence. Remember, if you use it to block, it'll pop and you won't be able to use it again for 10 minutes.
Yes.
But in this scenario, that's probably not a big deal. All right. That was Mortella. Deacon, you're in the room next door and you just heard this screaming ghost go flying through the wall and you can hear an alarm going off.
It's time for some uncharacteristic heroics, where I will. Can I see the ghost?
With one move, you can be at the door, and then you can see the ghost. Yeah.
Well, then I wish to rush the ghost and stab it.
All right. So that will take 2 of your actions, but you can certainly still make it up to it. By the way, I'm generally assuming that while you're robbing this town, if you have weapons and stuff, you're having them out. I'm not going to say that you're.
Okay.
Let's sheathe our weapons. This town's full of the undead. No need for weapons. That's perfectly fine. So we'll assume you have those out.
And where I am my rogue and I went to before the ghost, I get to sneak attack it, correct?
Correct. Yeah, that is absolutely true.
Then I will stab it with my sword. I rolled a 12, that's a 25.
A 25 will certainly hit. There are very few creatures in Pathfinder Second Edition that are immune to precision damage, which is what sneak attack is. Poltergeists are one of them.
Should have seen that coming.
It's like you knew you had a bunch of rogues.
It's almost as if I knew I was about to play against a bunch of rogues. I know, it's cruel of me, I know.
Well, that will be 11 points of damage.
11 points of damage is still very, very significant. All right. And that is a magical blade, right?
It is indeed.
Sorry, what was the total again?
11.
11. All right. Your blade slices through the poltergeist, and it kind of howls in agony as it stares at you with kind of death in its eyes. That was Deacon. Swindle, you are also in a neighboring room.
This is too spooky for me. I'm gonna go steal a statue downstairs.
Okay, so you're running downstairs to say something else entirely. All right, so let's see. We'll call that 2 actions to get downstairs, and the 3rd action to steal the statue.
Sounds good
All
to
right,
me.
that is a bulk 1 object, and just put Erastal statue. You have no idea if it's worth anything at all. All right, the poltergeist goes because Indra is always last.
Oh.
It's fine.
It was totally fine.
All right. So it is going to use an ability called Telekinetic Storm. And so the ghost shifts into the room, raises its hand, and like all of the knickknacks and tchotchkes on the mayor's desk, and so like his wax stamp and his leather desk mat and his pen and his quill and his ink bottle, all this stuff, the nameplate floats into the air and then just starts spinning around the room. And I'm going to make a free strike against all 3 of you.
That sucks.
I'm so glad you're a good team player there.
It's all going to be just fine. No worries. Okay, so here's the first one. I'm going to do that right here. That is a 1, so that's definitely going to miss. So the nameplate swirls right past your face and misses you, but it's making its way around to you now. Let's see who gets the nameplate in the face. Oh, I think I have a winner. Armor class 32.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Does that exceed your armor class by 10?
No.
No, just barely missed. All right. So instead, we are going to do 11 points of damage. The mayor's nameplate.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it print the name?
His name, Mayor Copperplate, is now like backwards across your forehead.
Yes.
And then the inkwell is flying straight towards you, Indra.
All right.
And I am going to get a 28, which I think is
Yes.
probably going to hit you as well. For a grand total of 12 points of damage.
All right.
As the inkwell hits you and splashes ink across your face. And that was 2 of my actions. All right. Oh, yeah, okay. So I should note that at the start of this, it became much more visible. At first you thought it was just a presence, but now it has become much more visible. I missed this ability. And what happens is it kind of becomes fully visible for a moment. And as it does so, you can see this skeletal ghost-like humanoid. And I'm going to need all 3 of you in the room to make me a will save, please.
15?
Wow, your dice are really doing great today. Yeah, no, that's really working out well in my favor.
17.
17.
30.
Did you say 30? Well, you are the.
Yeah, you gave me the wizard.
Yeah,
robe.
you're the wizard. So I suppose that only makes sense. All right, both of you are frightened 2.
Great.
So what that means is you basically take a penalty of 2 on all of your rolls
Oh.
until this goes away. Every round, the frightened condition is going to drop by 1 because frightened kind of naturally fades away. So both of you are going to have frightened 2, and at the end of your next turn, it'll drop to frightened 1, and then
Okay.
we'll drop off. Okay, great. And as a result, the poltergeist is now visible until the start of its next turn. Okay, let's go to the top. Oh no, sorry, Indra, it is your turn.
I'm going to shake and I'm going to get you. And then 17 plus 13?
17 plus 30 is 30.
Yes.
30 is definitely going to hit. It is
Perfect.
not a critical hit, but it is a hit.
I'm going to use all my 3 actions to hit. Is that okay?
Well, you need to take 1 to move up to it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Second one to
Apologize.
swing,
Okay.
and then you can take the third one to swing as
Can I
well.
swing again?
Yeah, you can swing twice.
Then a 15 plus 13, so.
That's going to be a 28, but remember, every time you take more than
minus
1
2,
attack, take a
so-
minus 5.
-5
So-
and then -2.
Oh, yes, okay.
All right, yeah. So the first one is definitely going to hit, but that second one is not.
All right.
So go ahead and roll damage for the first
No
hit, and
worries.
we'll see how that goes.
Okay. 7? Yep, 7 points of damage. No, 7 plus 4.
11.
11.
All right. You have both. You've slammed into the poltergeist now a handful of times, but it is still up and still fighting Mortala.
Mortala, although frightened, is going to take her sickle and step up and take 2 swings.
All right. So yep, take you 1 action to get up adjacent
Yeah.
to the poltergeist, and go ahead and swing.
That is a 23 on the first.
That is going to hit.
Okay. And then 13. Oh, goodness. 13 minus, so plus 9
Yeah.
minus 2.
All right. So that's a 21.
21, yes.
Yeah. A 21 is just going to miss.
Okay, but I did hit with the first one.
Correct.
2, 3, 7 points of damage.
All right. You are chipping away at this horrible, horrible thing, but it is still fighting. All right. That was Mortala. Deacon.
Well, I wish to use my first action to, fight on the opposite side of the woman with the axe.
All right. Yeah, you can still flank it even if you can't sneak attack it. So,
And all that daring do there, and I will roll a 19 on the die.
Oh, that's quite
so
good.
32 total, plus 2, 34.
34 is a critical hit.
Whoa!
Nice.
So remember, for this, you're going to roll up, add up all the damage, and then double it.
Okay. It's 2d6 plus 4. So it's a 7 plus 4, 11, 22.
22 points of damage.
Nice.
What are you fighting with? I forget.
A magic short sword.
Short sword. Your short sword slices through the poltergeist, and a lot of its wispy essence kind of flows away, but it's still there. It's still fighting.
And I wish to use my other 2 actions to ready an action.
Okay.
I wish to ready getting my bag of holding open to catch all that free loot in the air. Should it try that again?
So if it uses telekinetic storm, you want to use your bag of holding
Yeah.
to try and vacuum up some of it like you're in a money tornado.
Genius, isn't it?
It's like
that
the
makes
hurricane
perfect
when
sense to me. Yeah, no. I can't imagine
it is
any
going
element
like
of that could go wrong. Okay. That was Deacon. Swindle, it's your turn.
So I think the guild master would be cross with me if I let them die. So I'll go up and steal their kill. I'll do 2 moves and throw a magic dagger at it.
Awesome. All right, so you do 2 moves, back up the stairs, and throw your dagger through the
Yes.
open doorway at it. All right.
All right, it's 12 on the die. Looks like 25.
25 is going to hit.
All right.
So go ahead and roll me damage.
Big damage. 8. Max damage for the dagger.
Big damage, big damage, big damage. All right. you walk up there, fling your dagger into the room, and now, because it's incorporeal, the dagger lands on the ground, and then that gets picked up as it starts spinning around again because it's now its turn, and all of the junk is now flying around the room once again. I am going to go ahead and, as the turn begins, it starts to fade back into being invisible, but it's then going to frighten again to try and catch you. So it becomes visible again. Go ahead and give me a will save.
That's not too bad. 22.
And the two of you that failed actually need to give me a save again.
Okay.
22, that's pretty good.
25.
Okay.
15.
Well,
dice
you are
is
growing more and more
done.
frightened by the moment. So you are now frightened.
Got a 19.
You are now frightened 4, and are starting to fade in and out of consciousness with fear. You're going to remain conscious. It's more flavor than anything, but you're terrified.
Great.
Yeah, no, it's working out
I'm just
great.
gonna stand there.
Perfectly as intended.
Yes.
All right, but you made it, so you're fine. You made it before and don't have to save.
Okay.
And you made it this time and take no additional penalty. All right. Remember, at the end of your turn, it's going to drop by
Yeah.
1 at the end of every turn. All right. So that was the first thing it did. The second thing it does is the telekinetic storm again, and you. Swindle are not close enough to be in this. You're outside the door. But the rest of you are still in the middle of this. I'm going to go ahead and make those attacks. We're going to start here with Deacon, and that is going to miss entirely. But you do have a reaction saved, so go ahead and give me a reflex save.
Haha! A 16 on the dice, 14, 30.
Jeez. Can I have your sheet instead?
So, write down bulk light. You just
Thanks.
stole a
Thanks,
+1 dagger
Thanks.
from.
Here, take this die.
Yeah, with the 30, the +1 dagger just got vacuumed up into your bag. It's bulk light and worth. What are you?
I was
Stop
making-
stealing each other's characters. All
You
right.
said we're stealing. You said we're stealing.
I suppose I have no one but myself to blame. Make 4 rogues, I said. What could possibly go wrong? I said. So you have stolen Swindle's +1 striking dagger. Whether or not you give that back is between the two of you. All right. My next attack. We're going to go over here to Mortala, and I rolled a 1. That's definitely not going to hit. And then Indra. No, that's terrible. Wow, my die has gone suddenly very cold.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, no, it's the least I could do.
Thank you.
Okay. So the storm of debris goes flying through the room, and no one seems to have been hurt. The poltergeist almost looks a little sad about that. A little upset. A little like it failed in life as mayor. It's killed, and now even as undead, it failed in killing all of you. It's just been a really lousy day for him. That's all I'm saying.
Hey,
have some pity
join my
for
club.
the poltergeist.
Join my
yeah, no,
club.
all right. That's fair. All right. Speaking of which, your club, it's your turn now.
I can't do anything, right? Because I'm on 4. You said I had 4.
Well, no, you're frightened 4, which means you just took a penalty of 4 on everything.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can still act. You just
Not
are
this
kind
one.
of terrible.
Let me try yours.
Please do.
All right, so I'm going to try and attack it.
All right. And this is with your.
See?
18
Oh.
plus 13.
That is 31. 31 minus 4 is going to be a 27. That's
That's
certainly going to hit. So
perfect.
go ahead and roll damage.
All right. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 14.
14 total.
Yes.
It is looking very, very badly hurt, but it is still there.
Going again.
Going to be at a big penalty on this one.
6 plus 13 minus 4. No.
No, that's not going to hit. You can try the third time, but you're going to need almost a 20 to hit.
Well, let's see.
All right.
19
That
That's
might do
almost a
it.
20.
plus 13 minus 4.
19 plus.
That's a lot of math for me. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
So
19 plus 13 is 32
And you're
minus
flanking with
10
And
is
I'm
a
flanking.
22.
Oh, that's right, I'm
Minus
flanking.
4 is 18. Still a miss.
In all
Yeah,
fairness,
no.
you said almost a 20. That's as almost a 20 as you can get.
I'm a liar. What do you want? All right.
Thank you for trying.
I was
It's okay,
trying.
I got it.
I was
I got
trying
it.
to give her hope. I didn't expect she'd actually roll almost a 20. All right. So you swing wildly for it, and for a brief instant there, you're like,
Yes.
ha ha,
Yeah.
and then
And
it
go back
was
to shoot.
snatched away by a GM who led you foully astray. All right. That's what I do. All right, Mortala, it is your turn.
I can still attack this, yes? It's still there.
Absolutely, yeah, no, it's still there.
I'm gonna try to hit it with my sickle.
All right.
My striking sickle. 19 on the die,
That's certainly going
plus
to be it.
13 is 32, minus 1, 31.
That is a hit. Just shy of a crit. Wait, who are you flanking with?
We were flanking.
Oh, all right.
9 points of damage.
9 points of damage. It is almost faded away to nothing, but it's still there.
I will take another hit.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, oof. 6 on the die. 15 minus 1 is a 14.
No, definitely not. And you do still have one last action. You could raise the shield again, or you could try and swing wildly.
I'm gonna try to swing wildly.
Let's do it.
You know what?
It's fun.
Faster
It's
this
exciting.
is dead, faster I get to more treasure.
That is true. The loot is awaiting.
Okay, so 7 plus 13 is 20, 19 total.
You missed by this much. Almost there.
Almost a 20.
Yeah, no.
Almost a 20.
20 again. That's the theme of the show
Almost
here
a
today.
20.
Almost a 20. Not good enough. All
But
right.
now I am no longer
Thank
frightened.
you.
That is correct.
End of
It
my
now-
second round.
It drops off entirely. Deacon,
Well,
this thing looks horribly badly hurt. It on the verge of death.
Quick, throw him a knife. Quick.
knife. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
What? You don't have any weapons. It's fine.
I mean, it's terrible that all these other ghosts are just coming through the walls right now as I'm trying to cast these defensive spells and a minor image of ghosts coming through the walls.
Okay. So you're going to cast.
I'm going to cast illusionary object of ghosts coming
Okay.
around us.
You can make kind of spectral wisps. They aren't really. They don't look too creature-like. But are you trying to scare your fellow? Oh, okay. I see what you're trying to do. Okay. I see what you're up to. All right. So the rest of you see a number of spectral forms entering the room. It looks like the poltergeist may have called for reinforcements. But you know what? Why don't you all go ahead and give me a will save? No particular reason.
No particular reason.
Just numbers that I'm curious about.
No particular. 26.
Dirty 20.
19.
The two of you are like, oh no, more ghosts, and you're like, I don't. There's,
I want my
that's
knife.
not gonna go. Yeah, I want my knife. All right. So you think there might be more ghosts joining the fight? That was 2 of your actions. You do still have 1 left.
Oh, well, I'll stab the ghost with the other one.
Oh, sure,
That's
yeah, yeah.
efficient use of stabbing.
You don't want to get inefficient with your murder.
That's an 8 on the die, 13, 21.
21. Oh no, with the flank that hits. Yeah, no, yeah.
Ah! 3, 6, plus 4 is 13.
It fades away. You strike the poltergeist one last time, and with a howl, it reaches for the name placard that is lying on the ground, covered in your blood.
Her blood.
Her blood.
Not mine.
And it reaches out towards it with one last act of mayoral dignity and turns it straight, so it's sitting up on the ground, and then it fades away. It's failure complete. All right, we're technically dropping out of initiative, but the 2 of you do see more ghosts coming. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna try my intimidating glare at them.
Okay, sure. Yeah, go ahead and give me
Just-
an intimidate check. Yeah, you're gonna try and scare the ghosts away.
'Cause, oh my god. 17. I rolled a 4.
It obviously didn't work. The ghosts are still, yeah, they're still coming for you. More ghosts.
Well, I'm gonna. No.
I'm gonna wait until one of these ghosts, because you said like maybe. I'm gonna wait until one of these possible ghosts starts to attack, and then I'll.
All right, well, long and the short of it, the two of you stand there being like,
Yes.
and the ghosts kind of rise up through the floor, but it's not spectral creatures, it's just objects. So they just kind of wiggle up and then just sit there. And you're like, all right. Did the poltergeist fart? What's going on? Nothing much happens, and you quickly find that whatever this is, it apparently is just some after effect of the poltergeist. Yeah, no, that's surely what it is. And
Yes.
no one could be messing with you.
Yeah, that's a cute trick.
Yeah. So we were in the middle of looting, if I recall correctly,
Yes.
when the alarm went off.
Lockdown.
So you're still trying to pick this lock. However, the failure on that kind of jammed it in place. So now someone has to decide whether or not they want to take the bulk 8 safe with them or not.
Is it possible to smash it?
Oh no, not in the time that you have or with the tools that you
I don't
have.
mind scooping it up for y'all. Don't worry about it.
It's way too heavy. So generally speaking, the two of you did find it. So the two of you can work out dibs on that. But
all
if
right,
neither
you
one
can
of you
have
want
it.
it, then someone else
take
can
it.
find
You
just to
take
keep
it for
life simple.
now. I'll look. Can I continue to look around in this room? Or
Sure. Because the way that worked out, I'll give you another roll. Go ahead and give me another roll.
I just wanted to Acme drop a safe on someone.
No, that's fair. Yeah, I can understand that.
you can have your dice back.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I rolled a 2.
So you didn't really find anything too valuable. You did find in one of the drawers is a nice like quill and ink set.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna
Yeah,
say
it's
that.
a nice pen set.
Yeah.
It's bulk 1 and it's worth 20 gold pieces. So
Heavy pins.
I'm doing great.
it's mostly because of the case. It has a nice big ornate case.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
fine. It's
Hey, here's
treasure.
a question about Second Edition. Don't wizards use spell books?
They certainly do.
Let's
but
pickpocket that spell book.
on who?
On Deacon.
On Deacon. All right.
An eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. Parent.
Why don't you go ahead and give me a stealth check first? Because
Okay.
yeah, I think you're all pretty wary of things
Oh, no.
sneaking up behind you.
18.
Yeah, what's your perception?
Plus 12.
Yeah, 22 is the DC. So no, yeah, you try and sneak up behind Deacon, and Deacon spots you.
Try and swindle. Give me my knife, Deacon.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I
Swindle.
watched you, Longshanks. I'm used to this. You'll get yours.
All right, so you've dealt with the thing here, so you can continue to plunder the town hall. Who knows how many things are here, though eventually you'll run out of stuff to plunder. You can keep doing that. You've now burned 3 of your 8 hours, so time is wasted. But you can continue to try and plunder this, or you can go somewhere else.
I think we should go somewhere else.
How about that museum farmhouse?
All right.
I love
yes.
that. Leaving the mayor's office, I'm gonna wipe the blood from the imprint on my head with Mayor Copperplate and kick over the nameplate so it's no longer upright.
Wow, what a monster. All right. Yeah, the poor guy. All right, sure. You wipe the blood off and kick over the
you
nameplate
awaken
of
the
the
poltergeist again.
poor dead mayor. And having done your sacrilegious duty, you continue and make your way over to the old farmhouse. The directions from the center of town are obvious and easy to follow. It's clear that the town is incredibly proud of the fact that General Arnestant once slept here. So when visitors arrive, they want to make it obvious. Yes, the farmhouse is this way. And you walk past the sign that's like splashed with blood that says farmhouse this way. And make your way up the road to a little bit outside the center of town. There's a hill, and on that hill is the old farmhouse. It's obviously the place that's on the town seal. It was on the stationery. It was like the mayor's stamp was that little farmhouse.
Is it on my stationery I picked up?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Great.
No, it's
okay,
really
then
nice.
I'm like looking at it going, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
that's right. Oh, yes, stationery. yes.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
All right. So you're able to make your way up to the old farmhouse. And you notice that it looks like a farmhouse, but there's like a building built onto the front of it. And above that, it says entrance. And you make your way up to it and push open the doors. And there was clearly like the town was attacked in the middle of the night, from what you heard. and it looks like there was a caretaker or janitor here. And well, there's pieces of him all over the front room. It looks like the undead literally just ripped him limb from limb. So the front room, which is like the coat check and a little turnstile and a ticket booth, that's just spattered in blood and gore. But you know, beyond that, you can see a gift shop, and then there's a doorway going into the old farmhouse itself with all of its rustic charm. And where would you like to look?
I'd like to slide the copper across the ticket booth.
Oh,
Hand
sure.
the ticket out of it.
Yeah, no.
Go right through the turnstile.
Well, that's awfully lawful of you. All right. Yeah.
Take off any more ghosts.
Yeah, no. Well, that's fair.
I'll follow behind, but I'll just pick up the copper and go through the
Please note that you have 1 copper. All right.
copper
With
Yes,
my copper.
such riches. All right.
from Deacon.
Yeah.
I'd follow in.
All right.
Yeah, go.
I'm betting there's a lockbox where they kept all the coppers. I'm gonna try and find that in the ticket booth.
All right. Okay. So, because you've specifically asked for a thing, I won't make you roll. But the rest of you can go searching this place. I would say that there's the gift shop area,
Okay.
and then there's the museum.
I'm going to the museum.
Yeah, I'm liking that idea.
Shocking. What are you talking about? I want the tchotchkes. Where's the? Can I get the?
Can I get a snow globe?
As a matter of fact, you walk past a pile of souvenir pillows that are like, just like the one Arnesant slept on. You don't want any of this?
No,
All right, yeah.
I don't
Okay.
want those.
Fine.
Sorry.
Okay.
What's their bulk?
Yeah.
Get
They are
30,000 of these.
they are bulk 1 because
Oh,
they're
no.
pillows, right? I mean, it's kind of big.
I'm gonna skip on that.
No,
Yeah.
you don't want a pillow?
I like.
Fine, Jason. I'll take a pillow.
All right, you're taking a commemorative pillow. All right, it's bulk 1. Write it down.
I'm writing
You
down.
have no idea how much it's worth.
I want to take
gonna
another
be full of
pillow,
bed
but
bugs.
before I put it in the bag, I'm just going to slit it open, dump the cotton out, and roll it up inside the bag. How
All right, in
much
that case,
bulk?
it's bulk nothing. Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, no, that doesn't even count. But you just have the pillowcase. It's not really. I mean, it's not really an authentic souvenir now.
It is
Since
technically
you-
damaged.
Yeah, you've gutted it. All right. So you have grabbed the pillow. All right. This place, fortunately, looks like it's empty. There's nothing. You don't see anything stalking the halls or anything like that. So you're able to kind of search with relative ease. I would say that other than the commemorative pillows, in the back room where you're looking for the collection box, you also notice there's a small wooden statue of Eridan. There's all these deity statues. You've seen 3 of them now.
2 actions is 2 takes.
No, this you can just take. It's just
Okay,
obvious. I know.
I'll take it.
All right. So that's bulk 1, and you have an Eridan statue. All right. So, can everyone except Swindle go ahead and bounce me a d20? Swindle, you said specifically what you were looking for. So you go and take a look around, and you do indeed find the donation box. It is locked, but it sounds like it's filled with coins. You can either attempt to open it, or you can just say, nah, it's fine, it's bulk 1, I'll throw it in the bag.
Oh, I'll take bulk 1. I don't have time for this.
All right. So go ahead and write donation box from old farmhouse, bulk 1. You don't know how much it's worth. The rest of you, what did you get? I'll start over here.
19.
A 19. You go into the museum and take a look around, and you find a framed lock of hair. That's not creepy or weird. It says Arnesant's hair.
I'll take it.
All right. It is bulk 1. You have no idea how much it's worth, though.
Beautiful.
Yeah, all right.
I rolled a 20.
A 20. In the center of the museum, in a glass case, is a cup. An old, battered cup. And the placard underneath it says, Arnesant's cup. The general drank from this cup during his stay in General's Rest.
I take it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna smash it.
You're just gonna
Smash
smash
the-
the case?
yes.
All right, you smash the case, an alarm goes off, but this time, nothing appears.
And I take the cup.
Yeah, all right. The cup is bulk nothing. It's basically nothing.
Okay.
17.
A 17. You find a framed map of the Crusade. The Crusade that Arnesant was on when he passed through this village. And it's a framed map, but it's pretty big. It's bulk 3, but you're wagering it's probably worth like 500 gold.
Sure, I'll shove that down there.
All right, so everybody make sure to keep track of your bulk. Once you hit 25, I realize you're probably not too close to that, but some of you may be getting up there. That was 1 hour. You now spent 4 hours. You still have 4 hours remaining. So you can continue to loot this place, spend another hour here, or you can move on to somewhere else.
How do you feel about Garen's Forge?
Or should we stay here and look some more?
If you want to find the general's bookmark, I'm sure that's a good idea.
Let's go to the forge.
You can split up too. You don't all have to stay in the same place. I'm sure that'll work out great.
I'm curious about this watch station. Would you like to accompany me there?
Absolutely. Let's go.
Splitting up is a grand idea.
All right, so the two of you are going to the watch station.
Yes.
And the two of you are going to
The forge, right?
Garen's Forge. All right. Okay. Let's see. All right. The two of you that are making your way to Garen's Forge. It's a small building outside the center of town. It's not particularly large. And it is exactly as advertised. It's a forge. He was a blacksmith, apparently. And when you get inside, it is clear that the undead dragged him from his bed to the forge, where they hit his head with a hammer until it went spush. So there's a mess. But other than that, there's all these tools and valuables here, so you can get to pillaging.
Yes.
Looking around, next to the forge, off to one side, you see a wooden Torag statue.
I gotta complete the collection.
All right.
I'll take it.
All right. That's bulk 1.
I'm sure you just put these in here to just slowly nickel and dime our bulk.
I don't know what you're talking about. Now, now that that's out of the way, can the two of you both roll me your checks to see if you find anything interesting?
10.
A 10.
20.
A 20.
You gotta quit.
All
I
right.
was doing bad.
So, with the 10, you find a stack of iron ingots. These are 1 bulk each, but there are 10 of them. And you're wagering they're probably worth 50 gold apiece.
I can always throw them away later. I'll take
Sure.
all of them.
All right, so you load all 10 of them into your sack. You are taking a look around, and you happen to look down underneath a workbench. And in that, underneath the workbench, there's a box. And you pull the box out and look inside, and it looks like there's an incredibly ornate helmet. The box is like lined with velvet, and the helmet looks like it's been created, but it hasn't been delivered to whoever ordered it. It is gorgeous, and it looks like it's made out of some dark metal. You can't even identify it. At least, maybe you can, maybe you can't. It depends on what skills you have. If you have something that you think might help you identify metal.
Probably not. No.
All right. You don't have like knowledge or like
I have warfare.
lore?
Actually, yeah, I have
If
warfare.
you have warfare lore, why don't you give me that?
17 plus 8.
25.
25. This you're not 100% sure, but this helmet might be made of adamantine.
Okay.
But you don't know. It is with the box. The helmet is bulk. The helmet and the box total are bulk 2.
Okay.
If you take the whole thing.
Yes, I'll take
All right.
the whole thing.
All right, but you have no idea how much it's worth. So
Okay.
write down ornate helmet
Got
from
it.
the forge.
Great.
Great. All right, let's go to the watch station. The two of you go walking into the watch station, and this is the kind of place. It's a stone building, thin, narrow slit windows, and the two of you go walking in, and behind the front desk is a skeleton.
Is the skeleton doing anything, or is it just sitting there?
Not at first,
Uh-huh.
and then it stands up and draws a long sword. So I'm going to need just the
feeling.
two of you to roll me initiative real quick.
Ooh,
Ooh, that's not good.
That's karma.
Yeah,
That's
I deserve
always-
this.
What do you got?
One.
Oh, well,
13
you
total.
rolled a 1, but what's that come out to? So Deacon has a 13.
27.
Mortala has a 27. And the skeleton has a... There we are. Okay. Mortala, you get to go first. This skeleton has just stood up. It has drawn a longsword. It has a shield in hand, and it looks like it's ready to fight.
Is it within reach?
You would need to take one action to move up to it.
All right, I'll move up to it and just like boop, right on its where its nose used to be.
You're gonna-
I guess that bone there.
Are you
I'm
booping
gonna
its
boop it.
snoot?
Yes, I am. And I need a fortitude save for chill touch.
A fortitude save, you say. All
I
right.
do.
I am going to go ahead and make that fortitude save. Here we go. And I rolled a 20.
Oh,
Great,
I am
great.
uninterested in your
oops.
snoot booping.
I don't know. I think it's
No, it's adorable. It really was. And now it tries to kill you with its longsword. Also adorable. Armor class 22, though. I'm going to wager is just
Does
barely a
not
miss.
hit.
It is going to attempt to swing again, and that is going to entirely miss. And with its third action, it's going to raise its shield
all
to
right.
defend itself. So it hisses at you as you try to hit it, as you try to chill touch it, but a critical success means that it has no effect. And then it tries to swing the sword at you twice, swishing through the air, but to no avail. Deacon.
I will flank with her.
All right.
I don't know if booping counts as flanking offensive ability, but
Well, she has a
I'll
weapon
help her.
drawn, so
I have my
she
sickle
counts.
out.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
And I'm going to stab it with this great new dagger.
Awesome. I just realized
that's
you're
a
using
20.
someone else's
Yeah.
weapon. A 20 is a
wow,
crit.
It's a nice knife.
Yeah, that's pity you're not there to see it in use. All right, so that is a striking dagger, so it's going to do 2d4 plus, I believe, 4 for you.
This one's not striking.
Oh, is it not a
That's
striking
a
dagger?
dog slicer. You get
Oh.
the second-rate knife.
Oh, it's just a
Try to
D4.
swindle. This is what happens.
All right, so it's a d4 plus, I believe, 4 for you, because you are a rogue.
That's 1 plus 4 is 5, double to 10.
Doubled to 10, all right, but it is a skeleton, so it's going to take less damage
And
from
if
a
I'm flanking,
slashing
can
weapon.
I sneak attack?
Yes, you can, and that's actually going to double as well. So,
So
another
that's 6 more.
12 points. Ooh, yeah, you, the dagger, despite not being the best dagger in the world, still slams into the skeleton. A number of ribs go clattering off, making the sound like someone beating on a xylophone. And, but the skeleton is still standing. Top of the order, Mortala.
I am going to take a swing with my. I take that back. I am going to use an action to cast shield, and then I'm going to take 2 swings with my sickle.
All right, go ahead.
That's a 1.
Oh, well, that's going to miss. Would you like to swing again? Mm-hmm. Yeah, the critical failure doesn't have.
I
any
already said
advantage,
it.
I
So
think.
natural 20.
Nice.
Oh, all right.
So,
Well, that I guess that balances out. These dice do have things on them other than 1s and 20s, right? All right.
it appears to, yes, but yeah.
All right. So go ahead and roll me damage, total it up, and
Okay.
then double it.
And I get sneak attack for
You
flanking.
do get sneak attack.
All
yes.
right. 2 plus 4 is 6. Doubled is 8. You don't double the sneak though, right?
Yeah, you do.
You do.
Yeah.
I love it.
Critical hits really hurt.
So 6 plus 8 is 14. Doubled
To 28.
to 28.
Wow.
So I attempt to shield block. I use my
Uh-huh.
reaction to shield block, and that would normally work out really well for me. But you're attacking with the sickle, and the sickle curves right up over the shield and hits it right in the forehead, and it just crumbles.
I just boop it again.
Yeah, you booped it. Yeah, you literally booped it. Yeah, no. So that's it. The skeleton crumbles to dust, leaving
nice.
you all alone in the watch station.
Well, this dagger's worthless.
Yeah, it only dealt 20-some points of damage. Not a good enough dagger. I'll find a better one.
Are there separate areas in here?
No, it's pretty much just the watch station. You realize that it's divided up into like the office and the barracks and there's some cells, and there is another skeleton in one of the cells, but it's locked in there and can't get out. It looks like one of the townsfolk that got reanimated, but that's kind of it. So you can just kind of generally search the place.
Okay.
I would say this. You do find a room that is locked, that has like a giant padlock on it, but you have no idea where the key is, and the door is also like iron and iron banded, so there's no way you're breaking that door open in the time that you have.
How big is the gap between the door and the floor?
I don't know, maybe a half inch.
I reduce person myself and squeeze under there.
Half inch is going to be too small. If it were, it needs to be like 4 inches or something for that to work.
Darn.
No.
Way down
Half inch is way too small.
I'd like to. Is there a desk in the office?
Yeah.
I'd like to go search the desk to see if I can find a key, possibly for this padlock.
All right. So the way we'll do that is both of you can just go ahead and give me your roll. There's plenty of ordinary gear here if you want, like things like clubs and short swords and stuff. Most of that's worth almost nothing.
Yeah. 14.
A 14 and a
18.
and an 18. All right, so the 14, you open up the drawer to look for those keys, and you don't find the keys, but what you do find is the ledger of criminals. It's like their legal ledger of crimes committed, and you have no idea if this is worth anything. It's a big book, though. It has bulk 1, and it's just a book of people's crimes.
I'll take it.
Yeah, right.
Why not?
So write down criminal record,
A little bit of
bulk
blackmail
1.
never hurt nobody.
And sorry, you had a
18.
An 18. All right. So in the captain's office, you go in there. You think it's the captain's office. You're not really sure. You find there sitting on his desk is a giant like hammer made of stone, and there's a little plaque in front of it that just says "The Hammer of Justice."
I bet this is really heavy, right?
It looks pretty heavy. For a hammer, it looks like it's probably bulk 3.
I'm stealing this just to have. I'm not sure I'm even going to give it away.
All right, so you have the Hammer of Justice. It is bulk 3. All right, so you've all done your explorations now. That is hour 5. So you still have 3 hours remaining. Would you like to continue searching the locations you're at? Would you like to go somewhere else? What would you like to do?
I feel like this forge still has good stuff in it. What do you think?
Should we continue on?
Let's do it.
All right.
We had a bad time with the angel before, But I'm betting Iomede's angel cares less about gold.
I see where you're at. Let's do this.
Yeah.
We're heading to the Church of Iomade.
Oh, I see. All right. So the two of you are heading to the Church of Iomade. The two of you are continuing to loot the forge. So both of you can go ahead and give me a roll again to continue looting the forge. And you can actually roll twice and take the higher result because this is your second hour spent there.
19.
17.
19 and a 17. Oh, those are both quite good. All right. So let's see. The 19, who had that? Over there.
Swindle.
All right. Swindle, you find a bar of platinum.
Okay.
Bulk 1 worth 2,000 gold pieces.
Wow.
I'm not mad about that.
And you
start
had
saluting
a-
the goblin.
17.
17. You find a pile of silver bars for used in forging. There are 5 of them. They are bulk 1 each. That bar is also 1 bulk, by the way. They are bulk 1 each, and they are worth 100 gold pieces each. You can take all 5 of them if you want.
I'll take all 5.
All right.
This was good.
High 5.
Let's go to the Church of Iomade. What could possibly go wrong? All right, this is a giant building. It is one of the largest buildings in town. And the two of you go boldly striding up to the front door.
Let's
And-
roof, maybe better access.
Maybe. Let's try it.
Yeah.
Roof.
Oh, okay. Great. In that case, both of you give me athletics checks to climb up to the roof. This is athletics made to climb, so use the skill.
27.
19.
27 and 19. It's not like they built the church to not be climbable. It's not like smooth walls or anything like that. As a matter of fact, it's covered with ornate carvings of Serenray, the warrior goddess, all over the place. So it's not too hard to climb up, and you're able to kind of get up to the top. And once you're up on the top, you can find like dormers in the roof that they open up to kind of let the heat out. And you find one of those that is open and peer through it down inside. And the inside of the church, the main kind of narthex, the main hall of the church, is a complete disaster. It looks like a lot of the townsfolk maybe fled here to do their last stand. So the place is littered with the dead. It is grim down there, and the smell is really strong, especially up here where it's wafting to. So, you got that going for you. There's a hazy swarm of flies that you can hear buzzing around inside.
Improvised Ray of Frost nose plugs.
Yeah, okay. You Ray of Frost your own nose. It's not a terrible idea, to be honest. All right, so you're way up here, though. You can break out rope and try and, Mission Impossible style descend in there. I can't imagine anything would go wrong with that.
Do you want to be Tom Cruise or the rope holder?
I'll be Tom Cruise.
I'll go.
Okay.
Please fall.
Oh, this is going to be delightful.
Almost guarantee it.
Okay, so let's go ahead and call it 2 athletics checks.
Okay.
To make this work.
I told you I could call it.
Oh my gosh!
Natural 1, but for a 10.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah.
22.
Nice.
Okay, so you're holding the rope and you got it kind of looped up, and you're like, all right, and you grab it and start lowering yourself down, and you're like, no, the rope tugs really strong, and then all of a sudden it's really light. It's like there's no one on it at all, because you just fell 40 feet down into the pile of the dead. So you
There's
go
some cushion, I guess.
slamming down into the pile of the dead. Fortunately, they act as a bit of a cushion. So instead of taking 20 points of damage, you only take 15 from the fall. And you land down in the middle of this mess and immediately kind of look around. And you see up at the altar is the priest to Iomade. And he just looks at you with gaunt, sallow flesh. He has no eyes. He's gray and rotting. And he begins to stumble around the altar coming toward you.
Oh, boy. You might want to get down here. And I'm quickly going to drink one of my moderate healing potions.
I like how the two of you are just looting this forge and I wonder what's going on with the others. I'm sure they're fine.
Right?
And they're over there getting monsters everywhere.
Oh, great.
Oh, it's the worst. What are we gonna do?
I'm gonna.
Can we get initiative from the two of you again? The forge is actually right next door, so the two of you would actually hear this going on.
Yeah?
So why don't the two of you give me initiative as well? I mean, if you feel like helping, it's kind of up to you. Yeah.
We'll wait a little bit.
Yeah.
Does it cost an action?
We'll wait a little bit.
sounds like they've got
I'm
it
sure it'll
handled.
be fine.
Somebody's got it handled, that's for sure.
Mortella, what do you got?
I got a 21.
All right. And Deacon, what do you have?
28.
All right. The first thing this thing does, because it goes first, because I rolled, is it goes walking past the altar, coming up towards you, and as it does, you can feel just this aura of dread and despair washing off of this thing. Give me a will save.
Is this necromantic in any way?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Will save. 21.
I love it.
No. No. So You are paralyzed.
Ooh. Glad we're not there.
And that was that didn't cost it an action. That was just as it was walking up towards you. So you actually go rigid, and then it spent 2 actions to walk up to you, and then with its 3rd action, it's going to attempt to hit you with its fist. Armor class 31.
Yeah.
Is that the hit?
That'll
Wait,
do.
You're paralyzed, which makes you flat-footed. So is that? That's a critical hit. Okay. Yeah, you're 23 normally.
Yeah.
So you're 21 while paralyzed. So this is going to be a critical hit. Take 32 points of damage as you are looking down from above, and this thing walks up to your friend and fellow rogue and promptly just slams her in the face, and she crumples to the ground.
What is it with things attacking my face?
The undead, they go for the face. I don't know what to tell you. And you're outside. You're like 40 feet away, so
Right.
you're up on the roof. Deacon, it's your turn.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
How many actions will it take to come up with a convincing story of that I did all I could to save her?
I'm going to go ahead and call that 2 actions.
Oh my god.
But you can do them later. I mean, you don't have to do it right now. Yeah.
So instead, I'll spend 3 actions to magic missile the zombie in the face.
Okay. You spend all 3 actions to throw magic missiles down at the thing, at the priest.
Very good. 8 damage of magic missiles.
They slam into it, but it is still fighting away. Martala, you spend your round paralyzed, and that's it. All right, top of the order, it goes again, and it is going to continue to pummel away at you. You are paralyzed, so this first one's only going to be a 25. That's definitely going to hit. Second one is going to be a miss, and third one is a 33 minus 10 is a 23. That is going to hit. So it hits you twice. But yeah, it's just going to continue hammering away at you. The first one's doing 19 damage.
That puts me under.
So you see this thing just beating Mortala to the ground. And soon her body is now littered with the pile, and the blood stain is slowly growing bigger, and it keeps hammering away at her. So you go from, you get hit that one time that knocks you unconscious. I did hit you again after that,
Right.
which takes you from dying 1 to dying 2 now. It wasn't a critical hit, so you're only at dying 2, but that is now where you are at. Deacon, we're back to you. Are you ready to spend those actions on that story? It's now down to 1 action because it just became very convincing.
Okay, I'm going to spend 1 action to tie off the rope,
Okay, you spend 1 action to tie off the rope.
and the other action to swing down the rope towards the monster.
Wow, you're brave. All right, you spend another action to swing down the rope. By the way, would the 2 of you like to? You hear a bunch of screaming and shouting, and
So
you
you heard
know what?
that, right?
You know what? I'm gonna come back to you. I'll let you decide in just a moment. All right,
I didn't say it.
You swing down the rope, and you still have. Give me an athletics check to see whether or not this goes well.
So, that is 8 on the dice, athletics of 8, 16.
You guys are
Okay.
cracking me up.
So you go sliding down the rope, and you make it a good chunk of the way down, but you're not fully down because that wasn't high enough to move at full speed. So that was only high enough to move at half speed. That does, however, get you close enough that you need to make a will save, though.
Oh, that's terrible.
Especially because if you get paralyzed while holding the rope, it's going to go
No.
really poorly. Oh! Well, it's going to be a lot easier to calculate everyone's wealth at the end of this. So you are paralyzed and fall off the rope, which you were already halfway down. So, I mean, you did make it down this round. So you go falling down to the ground, slam into the ground, landing on top of Mortala. I'll be kind and say that doesn't do any damage to you, though. For now. And but you, Deacon, you're going to go ahead and take 5 points of damage from the
fall, of course.
And you are now prone and paralyzed in front of the high priest. So the two of you hear some screaming, some shouting, and then it goes real quiet.
The camera pans the Swindle's like head in the church window. I want some popcorn.
Diana just wants to leave him alone and let's get out of here. But should we go check up on them?
It'd be a shame not to at least get their bags of holding.
Yes. Let's go after the bags of holding.
All right, so let's see. So the two of you have that discussion. That happens there. Can you go ahead and roll me a? This is a dying check. So go ahead and roll me this.
8 on the die.
All right, so you're now dying 3.
Oh goodness.
How many is in Pathfinder?
2.
How many dyings do you get?
If you get to dying 4, you die.
Oh.
Little lesson for all of you watching at home. Mortality is now on the very edge of death.
We're coming.
However, the monster goes now and continues to beat on Deacon because you are now paralyzed and prone in front of it. And that first one is going to be an armor class 34.
That will be a crit.
Oh.
Oh, all right.
Like the laughter in the corner.
So that's 36 points of damage.
Oh! I'm not dead yet.
It punches you again.
There we go.
I've taken no damage this whole time.
So that's
great.
a
I have some.
33 minus 5. That's going to be 28.
Normally wouldn't be a crit, but I'm bad off.
What's your AC normally?
23.
23. No, even with the penalties, it's still not quite a crit, but it is a very nasty hit. Take another 15 points of damage.
Oh my.
Okay.
And then with its third action, it punches you again. Because why not? But that's going to miss.
Okay.
So that is the end of its turn. So Deacon, it's now your turn, but you are paralyzed.
Mm-hmm.
So you go,
Mm-hmm.
and at the end of your turn, you're not paralyzed anymore, but that's all you get to do.
Fantastic.
Top of the order. Now, at this point in time, we're at the top of the round. Can the two of you roll initiative for
I
me,
think it's
please?
time to roll.
Yes.
I'm still watching. I got a 2. Oh, so plus 11, so 13.
8 plus. We add the perception, is it?
So you said 18.
13.
13.
12. 30.
30. That's pretty good. 30 for Indra. All right. Unfortunately, Mortala, you need to make me a check first, and this happens before anybody gets to go. So this die, I just want you to know what's on stake here. If the die roll here is not at least a 14, you die.
Oh gosh.
Can I just put it on the record that I felt better if they had left us? Because at least they wouldn't have my bag of holding.
You don't know this.
That is noted for the record.
16.
You are reduced to dying 2. Now the high priest goes, and he's going to continue beating on you. The two of you are at the door, but you haven't gotten a chance to act yet. It is still going before all of you. So it's going to continue to beat on you, Deacon. You're no longer paralyzed, but you are prone. The first attack is going to be a 24.
That'll hit.
For 14.
And I am dying.
Okay, so you gain the dying 1 condition. It then continues punching you. It's going to hit you one more time, so drop to dying 2. All right, so the two of you have burst open the door. The two of them are lying at the foot of this high priest, who doesn't look like he's been hurt almost at all, and he is just pummeling them. Blood is flying everywhere. It is just intent upon wrecking them entirely. Indra, it's your turn.
There's no way to do intimidating glare on him because he's just focusing on their bodies, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you could try it, but even if you were
there's no
successful, the
point.
most you could do is make him uncomfortable. He looks pretty uncomfortable already, to be honest.
Okay, I'm just gonna go up and try and hit him. So I'll move up. 13 plus 13, 26.
So you move up, that's one action. Give me a will save. I'll let you keep the 26 attack roll, assuming the will save isn't terrible.
It's terrible, it's a 1.
Remember that time I TPK'd everyone at Gen Con? Because I do. You're paralyzed. You go running up to it and are promptly paralyzed. And that's the end of your turn.
I'm the worst fighter ever.
I just closed the door.
Swindle? You just closed the door?
I just closed the door.
All right, so you reach forward, close the door. That's one action and can just move away.
Sure, let's
All
do
right.
that.
Okay. That's one way to win. All right, so I'm going to get back. Let's see. We're going back down through the round here. That was Swindle. I now get back to the top. Mortala, can you give me another dying save? A dying check?
12 on the die.
A 12 on the die is going to drop you back down to dying 3. You are hovering between life and death. Yeah, you needed a 13. Wow. Okay. And now we're over to you, Deacon. Can you make me just a flat D20 check? This is called a flat check to see whether or not you continue dying.
It's a 12.
12, and you were at dying 2, which means you needed a 13, so that's going to fail. You go to dying 3 as well.
Just me.
And now I go.
Yes.
And you're paralyzed, so I
Yes.
walk up and just pummel
Great.
you
Okay.
a whole bunch.
Okay.
Crit.
What?
Yeah. This is one monster. It's not even that powerful. I mean, it is. I guess if you fight it by yourself. Let's see. That is going to be, 9, 16, 32 points of damage as it punches you in the chest. It's then going to swing again. That's a 20. Natural 20. So I'm going to crit you again. For, let's see, that's 26. And I'm going to swing a third time.
It might be a TPK tonight.
Swindle's
Well,
I'm going to
got
count
great.
this one. That's a 34 minus 10 is a 24.
I think I'm like.
Is that a hit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's my, yeah.
All right, let me do damage. 11.
That puts her under, yeah.
all right. I've got a potion of fire breathing. I'm gonna set the church on fire.
So, you set the church on fire. As the building erupts into flames, the mummy, that was the high priest, catches fire and perishes. Along
With all
with all of your fellow rogues. Welcome to Pathfinder. All right. All right, so with your bag of loot in tow, you're not able to recover any of their bags of holding. They all went up in the fire.
Good.
Would you like to continue looting the town, or you're going to call it good? You're pretty sure that promotion is yours.
Yeah, I'm gonna go home.
All right. So you make your way north. You pack up your belongings and find the horses on the edge of town, hop back on them, and ride north back to Ustalov. Upon arriving at the border, there are Lastwall soldiers there, but your guise was that of a kind of a refugee, or at least that's what it was supposed to be. Fortunately, as a goblin, they pay you little heed. They give you a look and kind of a sneer, but otherwise they let you pass without incident. Later on the next day, you find yourself back in the presence of the Guildmaster, and he begins going through the loot that you have recovered. Was there anything in there that was unknown? We might as well score you at least.
I have a lot of stuff that was unknown.
Yeah, why don't we go through what that is? So,
Lockbox with a 6 next to it.
a lockbox with the 6 next to it. That was from the Shrine of Abadar, right?
Yes.
Inside there was a piece of adamantine worth 750 gold.
Ooh, okay. I have 3 statues of unknown value.
So each one of those, they're worth, the statues are worth more as a set, and you have 3 of them. So they go from 100 to 200 to 400 if you have 3 of them.
I'm numerically dyslexic. This is
Yeah.
4.
So it's 400 total for the
Okay.
set.
And that's the only unknowns I have.
All right. So why don't you total all that up? And while you're doing it, let's just find out what the other folk had, just so that we can know posthumously how well you did, since we've got a minute here. Why don't we start over here? What unknowns did you have?
I had a safe from the mayor's office.
Okay, I'm going to come back to that.
Okay.
What else did you have?
I had the framed lock of hair.
The framed lock of hair. That is from the old farmhouse. That is revealed to be horsehair. It is worth nothing.
What about the ledger of criminals?
The Ledger of Criminals, the Guildmaster would have been very, very interested in, just for blackmail material, and is in fact worth 1,500 gold pieces
Nice.
in future blackmail. Some of those people don't live in General's Rest.
And then the safe is the only other unknown.
Come back to the safe.
I have the pillow.
The pillow. Would that have been the only pillow? No, you brought one out as well.
He took
The pillow was worth 100 if no one else brought one out, but if you brought 2 of them out, they're worth nothing. So in this case, worth 0.
Oh. So it's
Worth it as a rarity, but no.
So
Yeah.
nothing.
Is
Yeah,
it
nothing.
valuable as ash?
No.
What about the cup from
So
Arneson?
the cup. Let's go back to that. All right. So the cup. You get back. Had you brought it back, the Guildmaster
Right.
would have been like, "Oh my God, it is actually the cup of General Arnesand." Until they opened up the safe and found the real one. That one's worth 0.
Great.
The one you have is worth 5,000 gold pieces,
Oh.
and in fact was the most valuable item available.
One more thing. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
what else did you have?
The ornate helmet and box.
The ornate helmet and box is actually a very nice ornate helmet, and it is worth 2,500 gold pieces.
I'll take it.
What did you have that was of interest?
And the box of correspondence from the town hall.
From the town hall, the correspondence are worth 750 gold pieces.
Okay. And the box of deeds, also from the town hall.
Unfortunately, the town is dead, so the deeds are worth very little, other than as a memento of the horrible thing that happened there. They're only worth 100.
Swindle's dagger.
Oh, that's worth. That's
You
worth.
threw it away, remember?
Yeah.
That would have been worth 100. Yeah.
A pillowcase.
Nothing. Yeah.
And the hammer of justice.
Oh, the hammer of justice. That's right. The hammer is worth 500. All right. So obviously, you all would have had a great big giant pile of wealth, but none of them made it back alive.
No, they didn't,
So you are the only one. And what was your total wealth?
4,400 gold pieces.
4,400.
You trying to
gold
swindle,
pieces.
huh?
Oh wait, I have more than that.
All right. The Guildmaster goes through all of your assembled loots, looks through it, and says, "Well done, well done. Now there's another matter we must attend to."
I didn't do it.
The Guildmaster looks at you with a very tilted head and goes, "The promotion is yours." And that is where we are going to wrap it here today, everybody.
Good job, Swindle. We were almost a team. Oh, I can't reach.
I want to thank all of you for watching this special session to celebrate the launch of Pathfinder Second Edition. I have been your host. I've been delighted to run this for you. I am Jason Bowman. You can find more of my exploits every Thursday on the Paizo Twitch channel. That's twitch.tv/officialpaizo, running the Oblivion Oath, our in-office campaign. That's at noon Pacific time every Thursday. Also, for the next 2 months, you can catch me on Geek and Sundry every Tuesday from 4 to 7, running Knights of Everflame. Part 1 just aired this past week. It's going to be on YouTube here in just a few days. I hope you tune in and check it out. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you all have a great Gen Con. Go and find Pathfinder Second Edition. It's available now from all of your favorite retailers and online. And here at the show, maybe. I think we might still have some. I have no idea. Thank you for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.